Hello once again, everybody. We're getting down to the last couple of shurim. I think that this is going to be the second to last one, and there's so much left to say, so I got to pick and choose and try to come up with the most important things to focus on. Today we're going to focus on, Gamliel says, at the very end of the Maggid, we mentioned that Gamliel says, anybody who does not mention these three things on Leil Pesach, he has not fulfilled his obligation, Pesach, Matzah, Maror. So, Pesach and Matzah, we understand. Pesach, the Korban Pesach, which is a remembrance of the miracle, how Hashem passed over, jumped over, skipped over the houses of the Yidden when he killed all the firstborns in Mitzrayim. Matzah, the miracle of the Matzah, is a subject by itself, and Matzah reminds us how we rushed out of Mitzrayim, how it was from 1 second to the next that the bread didn't have the dough didn't even have time to rise. Maror. Why are we talking about Maror? Maror reminds us of the bitterness of Mitzrayim. Why are we doing that? This is the night of freedom. Why are we remembering the Maror? So the pashtus, the simple pshat is that in order to understand the redemption, you have to understand what we were coming from. There's no way to really enjoy the redemption without understanding how terrible it was in Mitzrayim. So the Maror is to remind us how bad it was in Mitzrayim so that we should appreciate the Geula. However, there's a question, a famous question. If that's the case, so then why are we mentioning Maror last? The sequence would seem to be, the proper sequence would seem to be Maror, then Pesach, and then Matzah. Not Pesach, Matzah, and finally Maror. Rabbi Salanter answers as follows. Rabbi Salanter says that what we are saying in the Haggadah, what Gamliel is saying with his sequence is as follows. Pesach Matzah is the Geula. Pesach reminds us of the Geula. Matzah reminds us of the Geula. And why were we Zaycha to the Geula? Because of Maror. Maror is the explanation for why we merited the Geula. We have Pesach and Matzah because of the Maror. What does it mean because of the Maror? Says Rabbi Salanter that the way that Klal Yisrael was Zaycha to the Geula was through their still clinging to Hashem and acting as Jews despite the bitterness of Mitzrayim. They're still davening to Hashem, as we mentioned in a previous shir, davening to Hashem despite the bitterness of Mitzrayim. It was that which we remained Jews despite the bitterness of Mitzrayim, which endeared us to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's why we merited the Matzah, the Pesach and the Matzah. That's why we merited the Geula. So this is obviously extremely appropriate for us now in this time. Keeping Pesach is not going to be, or feeling Pesach, maybe keeping Pesach is not that difficult, but feeling Pesach and feeling the joy of Pesach is not going to be so easy. It's not going to be so easy to feel the Yom Tov. It's kind of the same as the day before and the day before. We're stuck in our house. The only difference is, okay, we're not turning on the light. We're not, our phone's off. But how are we going to feel the Yom Tov? Sometimes it's easier to feel the Yom Tov. You go to shul, everybody dances together, you have a big seder and you feel it. It's not going to be so easy to feel the Yom Tov. So we have to, when circumstances are tough, that's what we live for. We live to persevere in challenging times. That's the whole point. If you're not going to face those challenges, then there's no point in living. So this is a challenge, and we have to stand up to that challenge. We have to go out of our comfort zone. Maybe normally you don't sing yourself. It's just you and your wife, or just a couple of people. You're not normally going to sing so much. You need a whole crowd. You gotta push yourself to really sing, to bring on the Yom Tov, to say a proper Hallel by the Seder night, to say a proper Hallel, to really feel it, so that we could feel the Yom Tov. And in the zchus of meriting, in the zchus of observing the Yom Tov and feeling the Yom Tov and enjoying the Yom Tov at this time, this will be like, in a sense, the Maror. This will be a tremendous zchus for us. And the famous hesped that Reb Hutner gave for Reb Aaron Kotler, well-known hesped. Rav Hutner said about Rav Aaron Kotler as follows. He said that one time Rav Aaron Kotler was sitting in an audience and somebody was giving a speech, and the person who gave the speech said as follows. He said that which Chazal say, Kol hamakayim Torah mitoich eini, seifel hakayim l'toich hayisher. Anybody who fulfills Torah out of poverty, in a situation of poverty, is in the end will be able to mimakayim the Torah from a position of wealth. So the Vilna Gaon says that doesn't refer only to money. It refers to kishron, refers to somebody who doesn't have a lot, doesn't have a high mental acuity, somebody who is not so smart, and he's Mekayim Torah when he's not so smart, in the end he'll be able to Mekayim Torah when he's very wealthy. Somebody who is Mekayim Torah under any sort of stress or difficult circumstance, in the end he'll be able to be Mekayim Torah from relaxation. That's what the speaker was saying over these words of the Vilna Gaon. And Rav Hutner said that when Rav Aaron Kotler heard these words, he started crying. And Rav Hutner said a beautiful word. He said, you want to know why Rav Aaron Kotler was crying? He wasn't crying because he never merited to fulfill Torah, at a high level, B'tayich Eisher. He never fulfilled Torah, with high mental acuity. Rav Aaron Kotler was a genius, was brilliant. So why did he cry? Said Rav Hutner, he cried because he never had the zchus of Kol Mekayim Torah B'tayich Eini. He never had the zchus of fulfilling Torah from a matzav of having difficulty comprehending. Rav Aaron Kotler was a genius from when he was a little kid. He was crying that he didn't have the zchus of fulfilling Torah out of difficult circumstances in this regard. That was Rav Hutner's uptext. What a beautiful thought. So, if Pesach is difficult, instead of being, downcast about it, say, how fortunate are we that we have the opportunity, that's what it is, an opportunity to fulfill Pesach out of somewhat difficult, trying circumstances. And if we persevere, then we will for sure be zeicha, we will merit being able to fulfill the mitzvahs of Pesach in the best and easiest and most geschmack circumstances possible.